Hi, and welcome to my backstage area, Backstage with G, where you get my perspective on all things human design, business, and living life as a correct, successful projector. I'm so excited that you're here. This is a space where I share audios and videos about my 6-line experience, how to become a successful projector, running my business in integrity with my energy, and paving the path into the new cycle to become a successful entrepreneur with visionary leaders like you. You will hear and see me model a way that not many are modeling in this industry yet. The truth is, I do not teach success. I am success. My personality is to model the truth of what it takes to do it your way. If you identify yourself as a successful person, let this activate and expand you into feeling capable of attempting to meet your highest potential now. Because in my world, we don't wait or work hard to become successful. I remind you that you are it already and then guide you to be it. Let's dive in. Hello, everyone. Today I'm coming in here in a very leaned back, relaxed vibe, kind of very 6-line rooftop vibe to share a perspective. It's pretty possible that it will resonate with a lot of you on the topic and context of money and celebrating our wins, because I see the coaching industry changing with the systems that are crumbling, and the coaching industry is a system as well. And there are different values coming up and different perspectives, and people are questioning certain things and just feeling not good anymore with how we are conditioned and programmed by the common sense of what is success and what is worthy to celebrate or what not. And I want to talk about this through the perspective of, we are through human design, of course, because there is then no one way of celebrating, and there's only the way that is correct for you. And it is all about differentiation. So there's so much I have to talk about here, but especially today, I felt I want to go deeper, let's say it this way. Especially after yesterday's full moon, and a couple of things really landed after I had my astrology reading or session. It was not a reading, it was a deep session, conversation, human design, astrology with a friend of mine. And everything made so much sense in this year's evolution, and it's so interesting. I live it naturally, especially around how this year evolved business-wise, success-wise, money-wise, client-wise. And the more I am living and restructuring my business in my design, a lot of things change, and my perspective changes, what I value change, and what I had to work for way harder even last year is coming now so effortlessly that I'm really surprised. But it takes a lot to letting go of all the program conditioning around what is required to be successful, to create wins, and then to celebrate, because there is a certain self-sabotage pattern coming with it when we look at our businesses, ourselves, through the lens of the homogenized coaching world, and measure our success based on their values. And so yesterday I got to know that my design astrology is different, of course, than my personality astrology. And so my personality astrology is Sun, Aquarius, Capricorn, Moon, and I am a Cancer rising. Projector 6-2, defined ego. We all know that. I know myself that way. That's more what we think we are. The personality side is always what we think we are. And then there's the design part. This is what we evolve into. And this is interesting because in my design astrology, I am a double Scorpio and a Gemini rising. And this summer, as I decided to restructure my business completely in design, radically, I'm a mensch of extremes, I, for the first time, really felt the Scorpio. And everything was kind of death and rebirth and literally death. I experienced the incident, like the moment that I decided this was the death, the loss of my cat. And the entire night where design found me and where my personality crystal got readjusted, and where I went then to Ibiza and got into Source and all this. And that shifted a lot around my ego. The ego death was so real that there was suddenly a letting go of everything, every external definition of who I am, who I thought I should be, success, money, what drives me, everything. And so I'm always very motivated and very driven to study and to learn. I know this is my, it is part of the 44.2 of the way that contributes to the success. But that experience has me look at the coaching industry, at mentors, at people, at money differently, and knowing what's coming in 2023, we will see a lot of people getting really faced with intense anxiety and fears around money when they're not stable in their relationship with money and the definition of where success is coming from and where the source for success is and what their definition actually for success is. So I want to come and go back a little bit away from the success and the wins, and I want to invite you to ask yourself, when you are participate in this coaching industry and you look at others, and when there's one thing, when I know when someone compares itself with someone else in this industry or their results, they are still not integrated in their design and understand design in that way, because design is about differentiation. And when you know yourself so well and know about that it's all about differentiation, then you just stop playing the game of comparing and competing and self-judgment. It just stops, and that is very liberating. Of course, the work gets to be around the ego and the not self, that mind that always comes up and wants to convince us in a different way. But when you look at your business and look at where you are right now, then go further back. And the first question that I want to ask you is, why do you actually started this business in the first place? So when we look at wins and celebrations and where people are and where you are, where we personally are, then why did you actually started this? And is there maybe something what you find in your life right now which you can measure, if you still want this, as and value or evaluate differently than just a monetary aspect of it, or the amount of any external number or what it is, or even visibility and impact and fame or whatever. I think at this point we're not talking about amount of followers anymore. That is so 2020, before 2020. And reminding yourself why you started it. There are different personal reasons that you have, and that usually had nothing to do with just the money. Go deeper, like underneath. what money represents. This either it was a guidance, a calling, a vision, a mission. Like this gets to be always the anchor point, whatever happens. And then, with regards to why you started it, what actually makes us feel successful is the second question that I want to ask. What is it that makes us feel successful, and not just think and evaluate? Again, there's the mind, the program, there's the body, the feeling. And when we go into the feeling and the body, which is passenger consciousness, then we are in our signature. So every type has a different signature, and actually every type also has a different reason to have a business. Yeah. There is this personal reason why to create a business, but then there's also, if you decide to have a business, and I'm talking to you as a business owner, then there's a different reason for each type. So the reason actually for manifesting generators, and I call them sacrals, is pure the signature frequency of joy, passion, pleasure, self-expression, happiness. You are the life force of this planet, and a business should not take away that life force because the entire planet depends on it. So whenever you don't feel that in your business, then there's something gets to change, right? So it's not for the money, it is not for the success. Success belongs to the projectors in its wording, in its signature. And it is, of course, a different definition when we look how people use it in the coaching world. So all the sacrals, your measurement of success should be your signature, your feeling of how much are you self-expressed, how much freedom do you have, how much are you inspired, how much do you have something every day that you respond to that makes you happy. And that gets to be always evaluated and adjusted if you feel the opposite, the not self theme of frustration. And when we go into the manifestors, the reason why you have a business in the first place is not to initiate and not to activate and not to go deep with people into a certain new innovative evolution of revolution or something new. Manifestors have a business, create a business, build a business, have multiple income streams, however the business model looks, to find peace, to be at peace, to feel at peace. Because when you're not at peace, there's no urge, there's no download from the quantum field to initiate something new. Because the world looks at you and expects something new and wants to be informed about the newness, the innovation, the new direction. If you don't feel at peace, people feel that you're angry, and it cannot be the reason why you get up in the morning and show up on social media if you're not at peace. And then the projectors, you have that we are success. So we got to look at and redefine success, and it is so subtle and so deep, and it can only be experienced and explored in a different conversation, because there's so much conditioning around the ego and the emotional solar plexus around this success and the pressure. So most projectors don't even know what true signature mechanical success feels and just define it with money. And so they don't feel successful if they don't have the money. But what actually money is, so success is something totally different. Success is a feeling, a signature, a frequency that opens the fractal, the doors to the fractal to receive the invitations. And money is then, for projectors, just a resource, a required resource, so that we can do what we can do best, which is to guide and not to work. And that we have the money to hire generators that work for us. And they're very, very happy to do that. If it's a perfect fit on the team, it's the perfect match. Projectors and generators work perfectly together. And then the generator is happy, the projector gets more energy, because money in that way is energy for the projector. It's a resource. So there has to be a lot of deconditioning and deeper work for projectors in the first place to be successful around money and the definition of success and what to do with the money and how to look at it and how to not have the money as this dopamine hit to feel seen and recognized. Because what actually brings us then more money? Let's just finish all the types as the reflectors. The reflectors, they feel surprised. So surprise does not come from, oh, there's more money, oh, it is really this ease and the freedom for all reflectors to be so free. And this has nothing to do with money. And the question then is, what makes us feel successful is that energy of self-expressed, at peace, satisfied, successful. But the success for a projector is support, is freedom, is relaxed, and most importantly, recognition, to just translate that word a little bit. And then when you look at what was the innate reason you started your business, it was exactly those feelings. You wanted to feel free. You wanted to feel at peace. You wanted to have freedom. You wanted to do the work with people that see your genius. Do I see that? So it has nothing to do with money. It's only the feeling, the frequency, and the signature. When the next question would be, what creates then more of money? When we say we celebrate and we want certain growth in our business and to see that we make more impact and reach more people and work with higher caliber clients, what creates then more of it? And that is it the celebration of money, or is it calibration? And so it is always signature versus conditioning. Because just to sit down, and I had this myself, I did it myself. I'm not interested in celebrating milestones, and I tell in a second why that is. And I was working with a generator coach in 2021, and I was celebrating $250,000 crossing that year. And it was very, very influenced by her. And not really directly, but I thought I had to do that to be more seen and, to showcase my success, because when I'm successful, this is kind of the testimonial, right? And then more people would see me and hire me. And she kind of very much modeled that. And I knew about design, but I'm not that deep and not in source based. So I now can fully own that and see that was so conditioned. And I actually felt it's like, I'm not a happy generator with that. I don't feel more successful just by having all these things set up, roses all over my house, and because that's the point. I am success. So it didn't make sense for me, especially as a defined ego, to celebrate something that feels for me so naturally and always felt so naturally. Money, resources. I have gate 14. I'm defined heart. I'm channel of surrender. It was always like brushing my teeth, or breathing. It's always in and out, and I love to breathe in. I love to breathe out. I have the money coming in was always easy. Investing, I always loved it, and so that didn't make sense. And now I understand it. I truly understand it. But there was the component of not so much the money, but the of course the not self-esteem of a projector to be seen by the right clients, because that is one part that we need to look at. There's money, and then there's aligned money. And in 2021, I made a lot of money, but I was bored as fuck by my clients, because I did it in a way that was highly conditioned by generators, and teaching all the how-tos and having all these master classes and chasing launches and attracting people who just wanted the answers. And I was not really living and showing up as a projector. I just, when you show up as a generator, you just respond. And I was bored of responding. And then my brain was tired. And I felt bitter. And so every next milestone felt more heavy, because, and this is exactly what my point here is, it is what creates more is not celebration, it's calibration. It is how much can I hold that signature of success, versus falling into conditioning of what is required to have more, having pressure if I'm not inspired to not launch the next thing. This happened to me. Like, I felt so much pressure if I did not have clarity right away what the next thing was to launch, because I couldn't. That was already 3 days in the month and I hadn't launched anything. Like, it was a whole shit show. It's like, looking back, and those clients and the topics and the conversations I had, I felt like being in a kindergarten. And I was the defined ego is a lot of mothering energy if it's in low definition, and now it's more a daddy energy of empowering people and setting boundaries and having standards. Like, we need both, right? It's tribal. And that gets me to another point, because when we look at the signature frequency and the types, then, and why we're here to have our businesses and make contribution, then I just had a incredible 2-hour training inside the stage, my projector intensive, and it was about circuits in the body graph, because we as projectors have to be recognized for our system, and we market and express it and sell it through our channels. And to understand that, we have to understand first the circuits, and to which group of circuit the channel belong. And so I was holding a 2-hour training on the circuits, and it is so good. It's not only for projectors, it's for all types. And it made me realize, as I studied that and brought it into the business context, that depending whether you have more individual channels or tribal or collective channels, you are even designed to bring your work in a different way to the world, and have your business set up in that way that comes naturally to you. And if that is not the case, because there is a certain chasing or too much orientation to what the industry says, then success will always come very, very heavily. And so knowing how to actually work with clients, whether you're collective, tribal, or individual, will create more of the signature frequency. And that's the key. It always comes back to that. And this is such a good training that I decided to very spontaneously to give that also to everyone who's in the DSF mastermind, and if you're in a premium, you have to look at this because you will look at your business differently and can create offers and some income streams in a different way, so that really the energetics lead, which is the circuits are the background frequency of the channels. So everything in the design should contribute to your signature frequency when it's lived correctly. And then when we understand this, we can set up the business, then we feel better, and then we make more money. It's that easy. No matter what the industry tells us what is required to make more money, we know better when we understand what is correct and required for us specifically. That's why I say it's about differentiation. Now, the next thing is that I wanted to emphasize is about the money and aligned money and not aligned money. So when we have our business running and we put our offers out there, then we attract certain people. Let's say people. They're not clients; they're possible clients. And last year, 2021, it was all about the money. But then I realized, oh, I don't feel good. After every month, I wanted just to quit. Like I burned it all down. Where are my higher level clients? So my higher level clients cannot see me and recognize me as their higher level coach if I operate incorrectly like a generator and totally wrong marketing, totally wrong offers, way too below my potential, playing myself down. And so my energetics were wrong, and also of course, then the fractal is wrong, is not opening, and these people don't come in. It is what it is. It's just mechanics. And so when we prioritize money over aligned money of quality of people, it will always be survival and self-sabotage, because this is really interesting to look at. Your current clients define your next level of success. When we bring it all back to the signature frequency and how you feel in your everyday life when you open your phone, then that is the baseline for the next client that comes in. Because if you don't feel your signature frequency, the door to the next level fractal does not open and doesn't bring those clients in. And for me as a projector, these clients bring in life force. I absorb the energy, I eat their aura, and I get conditioned by them. And that impacts my signature. And the lower the energy of your clients, any type, the more low you feel, the uninspired you are, the more bored, frustrated, and bitter. And the question is then for projectors, you have the money, you have the clients in front of you. Do you really feel recognized when you do the work with them? Do you have to explain so much, or do they get you? Do you feel truly successful in every conversation that expands you? Are they willing to be guided by you? All these things matter. And generators, do you have something to respond to that lights you up in every conversation? Or is there something where you go out and go like, oh my God, I'm feeling really frustrated? Manifestors, do you feel at peace after working longer with a client and not just one session? You light their fire and then you feel afterwards at peace. But what about like 6-month containers? What is that feel? Do you still at peace? Or is there some anger boiling? Or are you just exhausted? So for me as a projector, it's hard to receive new invitations when my current clients are making me bitter. It is what it is. It's just mechanics. And that's why I chose last year to change everything, and hire different coaches and went all into design. And then this summer, I decided as I started Source, I decided to even change it within this design context and say, I want to be so in integrity with source material. and I don't want to keep that in a surface layer. So there must be, my programs and everything has to change, and I developed something which nobody taught me or modeled me, which is now the new quantum business model. It was so interesting because in that night where this accident happened and kind of these downloads came in, the quantum business model came in, and I had no idea. One of my clients, she's still in here, I told her for the first time about this. She was blown away, and I'm like, I don't know what this is, and I don't know when this is going to be ready. I need to integrate this first. And so I did it for myself. And last night I noticed, okay, it is ready with everything that came through, also with the double Scorpio. And so the first program up next year will be the business and money program in that context. So there is a business model that works for everyone in a different way, so supported that you always are in your signature frequency. And that is the whole key, what is necessary and required for going into 2027, to know and understand that and set the business up now, because then you are also not volatile to anything that happens and will happen to the coaching industry. It is signature frequency opens the doors to the next fractal, and that is the key. And so when we come back to celebrating wins and judging wins, then evaluating wins, go back and evaluate how you feel every day, and that will contribute to your long-term success. And then another part that I want to emphasize is looking at the design, at success and celebrating through the lens of design, is we went through the types and where is actually the money in the body graph. Where is it related? Resource. It's a resource. It is material. It is a certain value asset that the collective defined as a value. It is the heart center. It's the ego, right? And in the ego is also the center that holds the qualities of self-worth, of values, of commitments, of bargains, of contracts. It has a lot to do with self-esteem and self-assurance, knowing, like owning who we are. Knowing who we are is a G center, but it is owning who we are. And having, in a healthy expression, in full and integrated way, in an embodied way of that defined ego and undefined ego, a sense of self that is not defined by anything external. And owning who we are without anyone else telling us who to be. But also not need to prove anyone that we are worthy of being who we are. And so this whole celebration and wins and emphasizing that how good we are is part of that. It shows, and I see the coaching industry actually being so in their not healthy ego. And whenever I see people emphasizing money right away, and having this nervous system response in both ways, like a nervous system response when money is not there and is not coming in, and there's then the anxiety and restlessness and pressure and fear, or a nervous system responds in the other way when there's a payment coming in, it's a dopamine hit, and it's like, oh yeah, or finally there is someone who pays me, or I know, however this response is, if there's a response, it shows, and that's the truth, it shows that there's also the equally response when there's no money coming in. So the nervous system flares up in one direction when it's a high, And it also flares up in the other direction when there's a low, because it's binary. Human design is binary. So when you want to go to a really equal state in relationship around money, then the way how I work around my money mindset is, I have conversations about money with wealthy people. I want to have this healthy, it is just so normal, like brushing my teeth, to have a bank account that holds 10 million. It's nothing that I talk about. I don't go on social media and say, I feel so successful because I brushed my teeth today. No, it's just who I am. It's what I do. That's my intention, to be at that place. And I did a lot of work around the ego to understand myself as a projector even better around money, the relationship, but also really this, for projectors, it is a lot the feeling of finally someone sees me, and yet I did not feel recognized, even no matter how much money they paid me in that not aligned way that came in last year. So now understanding these deeper layers, it makes me more successful and sustainable, and my nervous system is cool, calm, and relaxed. And I don't need money. And so I don't need to celebrate money. I can if I want to, because a defined ego is definitely someone who loves to talk about money, because it's so normal. It's so normal, right? If you love flowers, you talk about flowers. It's that. It's no charge. It's no look at me. It's no proving. And yes, ego is here to prove themselves, to get better. We are today in the class about circuit energies, it's tribal. We need the money, the resources to be supportive to the tribe. We support the tribe. The ego supports the tribe. In order to do so, we need to be healthy. We need to be supported. We need to have resources to A, feel good ourselves, and B, supportive to the tribe. Whenever I see someone and feel it now, as I went through all this myself, and it's unhealthy ego, and I even sense a little bit in the word. The words are acoustics, and I have touch cognition. I feel it. It is what it is. And so I just don't give it my attention, because this is the highest value I have as a projector. But you will see in the next month a lot, and you already see it, a lot of people in this industry being dismantled in the way how they show up in their really disgusting ego. And in some cases it is like, blah, I don't want to even taste that. So there is an ego evolution that needs to happen for everyone, defined or not defined. So when we have the defined ego who knows its value and self-worth, and is kind of very solid in it, and is here to condition the unhealthy egos. I mean, it is 75% of population have an undefined heart, and they're receptive to others' low self-worth and unhealthy ego. They can see and feel an unhealthy ego if they are in their a decondition. They're the bullshit detector of and really sense people's ego, but they also amplify it. And if there is this codependency and low self-worth within themselves first, they even feel worse around them. So the ego evolution needs to happen when we want to hold that signature frequency. And to create more success. So I know today that my focus shifted from money, and this summer it was really, I faced the fear of, okay, I'm in such a low, I have no emotional capacity, I'm grieving, I have to look at this, I cannot continue what I did in my business and chase the next launch. And then of course the money fear came up. Where's the next money? Where's the next client coming in? And so you have to go there and sit with it until your nervous system calibrates in a healthy state back, and you realize that you're the source. it is, and there's where I dove deep into source studies and understood myself better. And I am a projector. Today I can say I know myself, I know who I am, I know what I am, and I trust what I am. And I am success. And because of that, I know how to access that frequency. And I know how to do what I do. And that is being a projector who guides. And my guidance is incredibly valuable. And this is the entire premise of my business. This is the foundation. And from there, I can deepen it into understanding myself so well that I know what works for my business, what not, realigning, readjusting it, but there's no codependency on anything external anymore. When you know yourself in design, you just don't participate in that entire spiel anymore. And even among a smaller group of people who are having different success or whatever, it's like, yeah, it is what it is. Then they have a sale coming in a day and you don't, so what? I'm on a different fractal. You see what reality is, which is just a projected holographic universe anyways. But that's a story, a topic for another recording. So knowing who you are, understanding how to access the signature will always activate and infuse your authority and gives your authority something that sparks. You will create something, because the signature is always available to you, accessible without money even being around. That's the fact. And when you take the money out of this coaching industry, who is celebrating what? Who is teaching about what? Who's talking about what? Who is disappearing from your screen suddenly because money is not a thing anymore? What are these coaches identifying themselves as? And so bringing it back to the real foundation of our work, which is our definition and our gifts. And money is the reflection, the resource that these gifts bring in. And when I'm living my signature all the time, my nervous system is stable, I feel self-assured, I can hold it longer because, to be honest, in business it's ups and downs. And right now I'm in a phase where I'm refining, where I am so much recalibrating to a higher level of vision, more impact for the brand, different brand pillars of even outside this industry, that of course there will be a shift in my income, because building something, refining something is happening in the now, but it will create more opportunities for recognition, more opportunities for consistent invitations, consistent income flow, recurring income. All this is what I want. So I want to invite you, evaluate your success that you have. How sustainable is that? How much is it depending on a painful, or on you being inspired, or if this is all short term and mainly depending on your energy, can you continue doing this when time's getting harder? Or is that scalable? When you really want the big money, how does the money works for itself? How does your money make more money? Questions. I told you, Scorpio goes deep. Stings maybe a little bit. But I sat with myself the last month and asked myself, okay, what is my bigger impact that I want to make? And that is clearly focused on projectors and women, of any type, who want to run their business in their design. And that means full integrity with the system. And that is not dabbling around. And that requires deeper conversations. But I know many are not interested in that. And so I know there's going to be a very small elite circle my tribe. I know who I am. I'm here for the tribe. I just have one collective channel of extraction sharing my opinion, but anything is just the people who are really meant for me. And that's not everyone, and that's good. That's good. And you have that too. What is that for you? Because your capacity to hold more, to make more money, depends on the stability of your nervous system, the stability of your signature, no matter what happens, and the structures of your business that support that every day. Can you hold it even when in 2023 money as the resource undergoes some intense tests and transformation and evolution because it's required? So it takes a lot of work to unload all this and let go of all the shoulds and pressure and comparison and self-judgment and codependency and dopamine hit of the money, and to really go there. What would happen if you lose it all? What would you do the next day? What is your anchor? What is your drive? What motivates you? It requires that work to bring it back into the business and let go of all the hustle and the chasing and looking to external success factors that measure who you anyway are, because it's your design. So that you get to the point where you realize and feel it deeply in your body that you're safe, not on the bank account, in your body, because then there's not even a spike and a super, oh my God, when you're getting money. Then you know, it's there, it's anchored in. And then you don't need it anymore, and then you are ready for more. Let me repeat that. When you don't need it anymore, not even needing with, you still have money, but there's still this need for approval and recognition and whatever. When you don't need it anymore, then you are ready for more. And so to not emphasize money as the affirmation of your success, nor feeling bad when you actually value something different more than money. All your undefined hearts. What do you actually value? What do you actually value? Because I don't want you to feel bad if you say, you know what, I don't actually want to celebrate money because I value freedom more or whatever. And this requires us also talking openly about it. We need to shift this industry and condition it in a truthful, authentic way. And this will take time, but we will get there in 2027, at least when money is gone. Like, then we got to look at things. Okay, what else is left? Why, when they don't have a reason to put balloons and champagne up, So we get to talk openly and owning fully. And this is, again, you can only fully own what you have or don't have, or not don't have or don't value, if you're fully rock solid in who you are. And you're proud of who you are and how far you've come, and that you know yourself so deeply and don't rely on anything external. Then you're in your authority. That's all that it is. That's all what human design is about. That you live your life correctly, follow strategy and authority, and don't follow any external authority. And even the coaching industry is an external authority when she tells us that this is the way to evaluate your success and the value of your work. Because if you have clients and you're not in business as a business coach, what should you celebrate if those clients don't make money? Yeah, we have to talk about this. There's so much more, which actually is the root and the foundation for money to come in. Confidence, health, self-love, whatever it is. And of course, the fear of projections by others, when we celebrate that, holds most back. Or even being seen in success. Like a lot of people have success and then they don't want to celebrate it because of fear of judgment from others and projections, or holding more. Like what fears come up when you really have a lot of money? Like what is there in the nervous system? Like it all comes down, pulls you out of this frequency. So the question is really, when money is not there, what truly motivates us? Because not everybody is designed to be motivated by money. I talked about the open heart and undefined heart, different relationship with money, but there are also the 6 colors of motivation and design, and these are substructures. We do not have conscious access to them. We cannot control them. These are mechanics, and they're so important to understand, because when most people live their transference and are not in the correct motivation, and that's why making money, having success, having anything in life feels hard when you're not in your motivation. You don't live your strategy and authority correctly. And so this is nothing you can know, understand, teach, learn in a course. It is so versatile. Gets to be experienced and led in a conversation to in a conversational education, I would say, from my own experience. Because you hear it, I listen to Ra, I have certain understanding, but then I don't know, and you go into your life, you carry that with you, and then you ask yourself, okay, I show up, I sell in that way, I have desire and motivation, and I always thought wrong about this, showing up in that way, and some coaches told me this is the wrong way, and I'm too much outgoing and pushing and forcing, but I also understand that desire and motivation is not the most common thing among my clients and my audience. So the way how I buy and how I am motivated and how I want to lead, if I use this as an expectation that's the reason why people should buy and how they should move, that doesn't work. And so 2021 was a year of trying to make people move and trying to make people see what I did. So I was always in transference. Innocence, not good. And bitterness, not good. Doors to the fractal of those clients locked. So motivation is one of the key points to understand the mechanics, but it has to be experienced, and the awareness is more when you're in transference and not in its correct way. So when we look at what do we celebrate, what motivates us to celebrate, what motivates us to run our business, what motivates us to keep going, and when we are in our correct motivation, the mechanics are correct. That means we're in our signature. That means our clients see us really as the person who we are and not really in this distorted way. And what I do with my clients is that when they understand the motivation, they know how to talk to them. And they know when and catch themselves when they're in transference, because then the bitterness comes up. And how to shift the conversation, how to shift, especially as projectors, our focus and attention. So the motivated by money, not everybody. Not motivated by impact, not everybody. Motivated by leadership, not everybody. That contributes to success. 100%. And it will be main part of the January Business and Money program for sure. But not in a teaching you about motivation. That is not an integrity with the system. It is a deep understanding of how you function, because we have no access to it. Like, this is substructures, which is not something that we can logically, with our consciousness, access. That's the point. It has to be through the body. And so I want to invite you to let go of all the definition, all the conditioning, what you experience around money, success, celebration, programming of your worth and the value of your work, and say you are highly capable of what you're designed to do, and you can fully own this. And if you feel frustrated, bitter, bored by what you do right now, change it. If you don't change it, you keep choosing it, and that blocks even more success to come in. And if you're here, also be okay that you always want more, because that is desire motivation. That is, on the one hand, desire motivation or defined ego, the love to improve. But maybe there's also a pressure in to actually chase always more, because, again, there's this feeling not seen or not fully self-expressed or at peace. There's so many deeper layers, but I'm gonna keep it with this for now. Just as a reminder, there's a deeper layer of your personal way to look at success, and only you know what that is. And when you live this more in your everyday life, the signature, the people and the money will come. And if it's not money anymore, something else will come.